Cue camera 1. Mixer in 5, 4, 3. It's that time, folks. Live from the Crescent Moon Temple, it's the morning show with your host, Tolinar. It's time to play the music, switch all of the cameras on. It's time for the morning show and I'm going it alone. Let's quickly check the chat room. There is nobody home. It's time for the morning show and I guess I'm on my own. Stage lights. Okay. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I'm here to be. There's no one even watching. This all depends on me. But that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure I can get through it all if I do it my own way. Okay. Double check Twitch integration. All systems are good to go. One last quick mic inspection. Fine for audio. Pick a topic of conversation. Something that I ought to know. Modern news is too confusing. I'm gonna go with something more like food processing, play some video games, discuss Schadenfreude, maybe go insane. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I've got to be. There's nobody else out there. This all depends on me. And that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I want to make my life great, I've got to do it my own way. The host, the guest, the audience, it's what I've got to be. There's no one even out there. This all depends on me. And that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. If I want to do anything fun, I'll have to do it my own way. Okay. Today on the morning show, we'll discuss the idea of people taking pleasure from your pain. No, not a S&M idea. We're talking Schadenfreude. What an idea. Good gravy. Play us to the desk. Creepy music a go-go, baby. Today's morning show is brought to you by the letter M and the number 3, and by viewers like me, because, brother, I'm it. All right. I always want to say sister, I'm it, but I don't have a sister. It feels disingenuous to say, sister, I'm it. I don't know what I would say to a sister. I don't have a sister. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is currently February 12th. It is a Tuesday. The birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Who gives a crap? Let's get some tea together, like so. There we are. I hear more cold weather is on the way. Spring did not show up early. I have about a month left, I'd say. Where's my mic? Hang on a minute. Let's take the mic with us as we move. I just sort of left it behind over there. That's not the best. Okay, come on. Get that down. That looks good right there. Anyways, yep, it is the 12th of February. Valentine's Day is in 2 days, folks. Everybody's pumped as they're gonna get, I guess. I hear we have more winter weather on the way on our coast. We over here in the west are gonna get wet again. Well, it is what it is. Then I got liked by somebody who didn't show up for the morning show, but thank you for liking my post. That means something to me. We had a guest star yesterday. I was just doing my own thing, completely spacing out in the middle of a 10-hour stream while I did the dishes and cleaned up my house, and I didn't get very much done. But right there, smack in the middle, came Trinity Infinity. What an amazing human being. Let's check out that Twitch. She's awesome. Really, really awesome. And she stopped on by to say good morning. In the middle of the afternoon, but it was close enough. Sentiment 100% received. Anyways, yep. It is just a Tuesday with spring on the way. Got about a month before we hit daylight savings, and I've got all the time in the world. That sort of thing. Oh, don't give me that, kitty. Next up, this is Kentaro Sato and the Budapest Symphony Orchestra performing Stardew Valley, the soundtrack to my life. There we go. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Cat's making a racket. Like, hey, I'm Cat. Yeah, I know you're Cat. I'm well aware of the social contract of the cat. You're only capable of being a cat. It's not lost on me. Looks like Hilo's live. Let's check her out on that. Let's see here. Hilo is at this address. She's relatively new in the streaming scene, but boy, she's good at what she does. She's worth watching too. Check her out. All right. And Yep. Well, hi, we have a special guest star. What? What is it? Well, you going to talk about it? You want to talk about it? That's like, no, that's a microphone. I didn't say shit. I got you. No comment. No comment, fool. Go. It finally happened. My tea might be a bit more metallic than usual because the tea filter finally broke. Nothing lasts forever. All things must come to an end, you know? Oh boy. Okay. Let's quickly double check that there's not a big old chunk of metal in my tea. I think there's not. So we'll add some sugar and treat it like one ordinary tea. Although my filter gave its last for this one. Went to pieces. I now need a new tea ball. Okay, I have things to do today. We'll get to those in good time. In good time. Okay. Add sugar to my tea. Add the milk. There we go. Relatively comfortable morning, things considered. Certainly I have had worse. That's a shame though. It finally went to pieces. It has served me faithfully for many a day. It just cacked out. It's like I can't do it anymore. I understand. Yes, now. You did more than your share. Small memorial for my fallen tea ball. It was a spoon type, and the hinge gave out. The two halves fell away from each other. But it did good work for a long time. Okay, a little supercharger. Good tea. Generally speaking, watching people suffer is uncomfortable for all of humanity. Oop, Pocky's live. Pocket Trash is doing her thing now too. I'm going to take a picture of my cat now, or a person who I pay a lot of attention to, one Urma Rini. I'm waiting for her first big debut, grand superstarness on the stage and screen. That's what we want right there. Good kitty. Now I have to wait for my picture to stick. There it goes. Okay. Send some good morning messages to Uruma. She's doing what she's doing. Nobody really likes watching someone suffer. It's hard on a person to see someone suffer. So what in the world is so... Why does Schadenfreude exist, is the question. Schadenfreude is when people think, boy, I'm glad that's not me. Here's Cat. Well, I'm glad I'm not Cat. Don't ram me. Don't want to hear it, kitty. I know. Right. So this is a loan word from German. You learn from the troubles, pain, and suffering and humiliation of another. It has to do with an aversion to inequity. Generally speaking, the three forces that push Schadenfreude forward are sense of rivalry, general aggression and selfishness, and justice. Those are motives 2, 7, and 1, I think 1. It is a highly complicated concept. It's not exactly the same as tall poppy syndrome, which is the resentment of the success of a peer. It's like how people have artificial dislike of Ilara because she's successful, or Feifei. We wait to see those who are in power fall because that kind of resentment or attacking, begrudgery, that sort of stuff, that's tall poppy syndrome. Now, if you see one of these major actors get into trouble with a Google Docky or some dorky stuff like that, and you think that's amusing, that's Schadenfreude. There are a lot of different shades of it. The most gentle form of Schadenfreude, finding humor in someone's misfortune, is when it is apparent that someone's bad luck is merely that, and that there's no long-term consequences, as well as people who are stuck in incredibly absurd situations. Humor is based on the absurdity of life's nature. So, when we find something funny, it's because of how absurd it is in comparison to reality. And when someone gets stuck dealing with life and is forced into the absurd end of the stick, more or less having what I call a Mr. Bean moment, it can be a little cruel, but most people will find a little amusement in that and possibly even laugh a little. Now, there are darker versions of this. The more unpleasant the situation, the more difficult the encounter situation, the more unpleasant the variable, the less likely someone is to laugh at it. And the more serious the damage, the more someone is less likely to find it funny and more likely to find it pleasing due to their own sadistic nature. A person who finds genuine concern in someone else's suffering That's the mark of a strong type 3 individual, a person who has powerful emotional connection. A person who feels no such thing, that's a type 2 person who has a lot of selfishness. A person who feels that someone else's suffering is justified, that's a type 7. When a person feels rivalry and senses victory at hand when someone else struggles, that's a type 2 personality again. Very much selfishly oriented. Finding amusement at the absurd moments in life, that's type 6. Enjoying the experience of life for what it is. Because Mr. Bean moments never last. Someone steps on a Lego, you feel awful for them, but they're probably going to be okay. It just sucks in the moment. And it happens to all of us occasionally. So you feel sympathetic that they're suffering, but at the same time, it's moderately amusing that something so absurd happened. Depending on which personality you have, you experience different versions of Schadenfreude or don't experience one at all. Now, the different natures of humor. Again, what is absurd changes based on your worldview, your outlook. For someone who is very focused on being grounded and surviving, something will strike them as absurd if it represents something so unlikely as to be improbable, like getting attacked by a squirrel. You gotta be kidding me. That sort of situation would be funny for them. You get somebody who's very focused on competition or very selfish minded. And then when somebody suffers a great loss, then that's amusing to them. To them, it's absurdist humor when somebody who's in the biggest and strongest position just suddenly loses it all for no reason. Somebody who is emotionally connected is most likely to find Schadenfreude in someone else's embarrassment, especially positive embarrassment, knowing that such things are transient and that emotional care for people goes beyond that. So when somebody else is momentarily humiliated because their fly is down, that's a nice solid laugh because no one's going to care about something so trivial. The idea that someone would become embarrassed over that is silly, and so that's funny. Art is especially difficult to find amusement with. Generally speaking, aesthetic and the Godhead don't do funny very much. You can laugh at something like a fashion model farting, but that's still not quite it. Art's not about failure. It's about finding beauty in the moment, finding cleanliness and artistry and perfection. This can go too far. Someone can go crazy over their art, and then that can be a form of absurdist art. Like someone pretending to be the statue of David would be a good example of ridiculous art. Someone going way too far, trying to exist as a piece of art. Well, that's not practical, and that might be amusing. But it doesn't really qualify as Schadenfreude, does it? Sacrificing for your art, that's a personal decision, not so much someone suffering due to bad luck or situational variables. That's a choice made. So there's not much that's funny about that. For someone who's intellectual, anytime something makes no sense, it's hilarious. When people find themselves caught with the dumbs, it's very funny. I can attest to this. And for people who live in the moment, the more absurd the moment, the funnier it is. This is the sort of person who will laugh at a fashion model farting. And then you find people who have a strong sense of justice. And they will think it is absurd and funny if the concept of justice is inverted. The more something is ridiculous beyond belief, the more something is absurd, and the easier it reverts to normal, the smaller the consequences, the more likely someone is to find it gut-bustingly funny. And even if it's unfortunate luck for someone else, as long as the long-term expense of it isn't too severe, most people who have a strong enough drive in the associated natures will think it's hilarious. You can tell, depending on the accident, what sort of person what someone laughs at is a very strong personality tell. It talks about what sorts of things they think are important. Whether their sense of humor lies indicates which virtues they have strong in their heart and which ones are weaker. It also talks to their tolerances for social graces and where their selfishness hides. Because all humans have selfishness. It's part of being human. Figuring out where it is, that's important. These three, the Greeks believed there were three of these. Nemesis is when someone else has good luck and you find that bothersome. Finding pain or discomfort in someone else's good luck. It's drive 2 all the way. Nemesis is drive 2. That's envy boiled down. You want their good luck, and so when they have good luck, you're dissatisfied with the universe. You wish the universe would treat you like that. It's straight up envy, nemesis. Pathonos is different. It's a form of pathos, which involves number 7, fairness. Finding pain in another's good fortune, whether they've earned it or not. In particular, when someone has good fortune due to hard work and you resent it because you think the world is unfair to you, that's drive 7. Whereas when you find it annoying that someone else is lucky, that's envy. You want to have what they have, that's drive 2. And then there's taking pleasure in someone else's good luck. Taking pleasure in someone else's bad luck. And again, there's different versions of that. One of the daughters of envy, they follow anger. Let me read the passage. One of these two, the consupable and irascible powers, arose those mixed affections and passions of anger, which is a desire of revenge, hatred, which is inveterate anger, zeal, which is offended with him who hurts that he loves, and the compound affection of joy and hate, when we rejoice at other men's mischief and are grieved at their prosperity. Pride, self-love, emulation, envy, shame. You get the idea. To feel envy is ordinary human. It means that you have a drive too. To experience heavy Schadenfreude, to take pleasure in someone else's suffering, depends on how deep. Finding it amusing when someone else has a bad day? Well, yeah, maybe a little bit. The more you take joy in someone else's long-term suffering, the darker your heart is. We don't wish our friends ill. But we have an embarrassing spasm of gratitude that the bad thing happened to someone else and not to me. I got lucky, someone else was unlucky. That sort of feeling. Thank goodness it wasn't me. That sort of feeling. Well, I think I pretty much covered the topic. All right, I have bills to pay and stuff to do. So, we're going to call the morning show here. I like to cut these things short when I've said what needs to be said. I got too much to do, except in real world, I got bills to pay and stuff to do. So I'm going to scamper on out of this house. And that means I got to shut the morning show down. Thank you very much for watching. We had some spammer, which you can just disregard that, and you have a good day.